How y'all doing? It's PawPaw again. And you're probably saying, oh, PawPaw, it looks so nice and warm there where you are. Uh-huh. It's 27 degrees. Whew. But I'm wanting to build me a little something, and I need a table saw to do it with. And I don't have one here that works. So what this is all about is doing it cheap. And hang with me. We're going to see if we can come up with something. I've got a couple of table saws that don't work. One was in the dump, and another a boy gave me. One of his tenants had it and said it quit working on him. So we're going to see if I can turn junk into something that works. If not, I'll explain to you why I took them in. All right. Well, listen to my song. It only lasts a minute. For all you people out there that don't like it, that's too damn bad. This is my channel. Yeah, I like doing it cheap.
I don't buy new cars, I don't buy brand names, I go to Goodwill for my clothes. I like to save money, I like to find bargains, it's the life I chose. I throw nothing away, I'll find a use another day for all this junk I keep. My neighbors all hate me, they abuse and berate me, 'cause I like doing it cheap. Yeah, I like doing it cheap. Welcome to another episode of Doing It Cheap.
Alright, well the first one here, the little Task Force 10-inch table saw. Even got the fence with it. This is one that was in the dump. It was just thrown away. And I said, you know what? Even if the motor in this thing I can't get to work, I could mount a skill saw upside down in that thing and make me a table saw with a skill saw. So that's my thinking there. Got a bunch of these pallets here, and I'm wanting to rip a few of the boards down, but I need a table saw to do it. And here's the one old boy give me. Here's a little Craftsman saw old boy give me. I'm going to try, see if I can figure out why the motor won't come on this one. I'd really like to see if I can fix this. So hang with me. I'm going to dig this one out of here and see if we can get something done. Yeah, I'd really like to get this one going. It's got a pull out over here. It's got a pull out over there, and that outfeed pulls out too. So this is very versatile. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on. First thing I'm going to do is make sure I got power to that switch. All right. Well, first of all, I've got the saw plugged into the same 12 gauge extension cord that I had my air compressor plugged in, so I know I got power. And I reach down here just to flip the switch. Nothing. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I've got power to the switch. Well, first of all, I didn't unbolt the saw from the stand. That daggum plastic that thing is made out of was so dry and brittle that it just broke them daggum mounts. See right there? All right. It never ceases to amaze me. Called a 10-inch saw. It's its maximum depth of cut, 3 inches. All right then. Well, let's see what we can get into. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that switch off. Looks like a screwdriver would do that. Boy, howdy, look at all them wires. Dirt dauber, anyone? Well, I will tell you right now, I don't think it's an electrical problem. This daggum motor is hard to turn. I bet you it ain't been lubed up since the day the old boy bought it. We'll find out. Uh-huh. Somebody's been in this wiring. I don't know if you can see it or not. Somebody's been in here before. I'll bet you that might be one of the deals. Let's see here. Because they're both female plugs. And instead of cutting one or cutting them and twisting them together for wire tie, he just sort of poked them together. Shit, I bet that's all wrong with this thing. And I've been having to sit there for 2 years not using it. So like I say, the motor is very hard to turn, so it'll definitely require some lubrication even if I do get it to come on. See what we got here? I don't know if you can see it or not, but both of these are female. And unless they're lesbians, they don't really go together much. But I am going to try that just to see if I hear motor humming or something. Do have power to my cord. Let's see if bypassing the switch did anything. If it didn't, no big deal. Then I'll get my meter out and test it. Oh, nothing. Alright. Let me get my voltmeter, make sure I've got voltage. Well, I went through 3 multimeters, none of them worked. And I fixed this one, so I'll be doing a video on this. Alright, let's see here. And there's our voltage, around 120 volts. All right, so we know that the cord is good to the saw. Our next step is to find out why we don't have a motor running. Okay, well, I'm going to pull this motor out, and to do that, you have to undo the wiring here. I've unplugged the black and white from the switch, and I will need to pull one screw right here to free the green wire, the ground wire. And then right in here are 4 bolts, and they have 1/2-inch heads on them. And there's one little bolt here with a flat or Phillips head screw on it. I say or because you can use either one. So, oh, and to make this easy to do, you want to raise your blade to its highest point. That gives you room to get in here. Otherwise, it's raised up in here and you just can't do it. So, learn from me. Raise your blade all the way up. By the way, this little nut right here, that's 5/16. Well, I have fussed and I have fussed and I have fussed with this little thing. Let me show you what we're trying to do. I am trying to get them bolts out. And what I've been using is this wrench right here. Reaching way down in there. But you can only get about a 1/16 of a turn at a time. Now I had, years ago, I had a little 3/8 drive ratchet. And you twist the handle and the socket would turn. I went to Harbor Freight to see if they had one. I also went to see, because I remember years ago, I had a little old cheap ass 90-degree chuck that you put into your drill, and you know you're drilling this way, but it'd turn over here. And I don't know whatever happened to it. It was a cheap piece of plastic crap. But the thing of it is, these bolts are loose. I come in here, I went on Amazon, I looked for a twist ratchet. Stanley called it a rotator ratchet. $40, $50, $70. I said, oh, no. And I scratched my head and I studied, and all of a sudden I came across electric ratchets. And I said, well, hell yeah. Then I looked them up and they were $80 and $90, $100. I said, no. And I sat there and I scratched my head. And, you know, you get set in your ways and you're used to dealing with certain tools. You call on your experience. And one thing I don't have much is a lot of air tools. And this little baby right here is going to reach right in there and pull them bolts out like it ain't nothing. But did I think of that? It took me all afternoon cussing and fussing. Now then, we're going to get this done. Got to get it on there. Yeah, that's right. Bastard. Takes me longer to line up that little 6-point socket on that bolt than it does to take it off. Ah, man, I could have made quick work of that if I'd had that earlier today. 20 bucks, get you one. But now then, we got the motor loose, so I can go on to my next step. Okay. Well, one of the brushes in fine shape, and the other not so much. Matter of fact, the carbon or graphite part of it's still stuck in there. This bracket, the orientation is only goes one way, and that's going to be on the side where this wire is, with this tab bent over towards the right as you're looking at it there. And all I've done is loosen these 4 screws. And now then, I'm going to try to crack it apart. Some people say, well, why don't you take that blade off of there? Hell, I don't know. Maybe because I don't want to. Who knows? That's too small. That bearing's all right. Plenty of grease in there. I bet that brush is the only thing that's wrong with this one. There we go. That brush is about half wore out. So we'll have to get some new brushes for this if they're available. And this bearing right here. This bearing right here is very tight. And I know from watching another man that this bearing number is 6200, Z as in zebra. And they're about I think you can buy 10 of them for 10 bucks on Amazon. That's 6200 Z as in zebra. Not ZZ, just Z. So we'll have to rig us up a bearing puller to get this little feller off of there. So I'll be back. Well, I pulled this dust cap off of that bearing. See where it goes. Bearing that goes up in the housing. And apparently this dust cap didn't do very good. It's all full of sawdust in there. So I'm going to see if I can't clean this up and get it to free up instead of trying to get that bearing off of that shaft. Well, I'll give it a few shots of WD-40. And by God, she spins good now. I'll clean it up a little bit more and pack some grease in it, and that's going back in. Now, all I did was pry that little plastic dust cover, grease cap, whatever you want to call it, off there with a little tool like this, little pick. Just reach in there and pop it out. And now then, I'm going to take some grease. I use brake parts cleaner and WD-40, and I got it all nice and clean where it spins real good. Now then, I'm going to put grease in it. You don't want to put too much grease in it because it can overheat, because it's, you know, can't move as well. So what I like to do is I like to pack that grease in there and then take a rag and reach in there and try to wipe some of it out. I'm still sitting here waiting on them brushes to come in from the mailman. I'm getting excited. Well, I hope y'all can hear me. Oh, that wind's a-blowing here in the trees. Well, got this old fella put back together. I was sitting here waiting on my brushes to come in, which they have. Haha. And I went online to see what is a good substitute for contact cleaner, electrical contact cleaner. Because the way these brushes work is got this little tail on them right here, and when you push that carbon spring-loaded brush down in there, this just fits in here, and that's how it makes electrical contact. Well, this thing, let's see, this motor was built in 2003, so we're talking 19 years, 19 years. So as dirty as everything else was, I figured it ain't gonna hurt to clean it. Well, my acetone is at the farm. Anyway, I was looking to see what was a good substitute for a contact cleaner, and it said acetone. And for those of you who don't know, acetone is one of the ingredients in my super duper rust buster, PawPaw's homemade penetrating oil. Absolutely better than anything you can buy. See, I'll put the link to that video on here so y'all can go watch that. How to make your own rust buster, thread loosener, bolt, whatever. Okay. Well, I got me some Q-tips, but they make these daggum things child-proof, so I can't get into it. I got to cut that plastic off of there. I'll be right back. I'll never forget, there's a girl I used to spend a little bit of time with, and her daddy was a pharmacist. And son of a bitch. Anyway, this girl's daddy was a pharmacist. And this was the year when they came out with the child-proof caps. She went to a nursing home, and none of the residents there could get the damn caps open. Her mother's a school teacher, so she took them to her mama's first grade class, and every one of them got them medicine bottles open. Well, I think about it every time I see this child-proof stuff. Well, they got to make things so difficult, huh? Now, back in my day, we was smart enough to know not to eat poison and all that kind of stuff. Oh well. Ta-da! Alrighty then. Let me just put these in here. Man, what a pain to patoot. Alrighty then. Alright. Let's see if it'll work. Did PawPaw fix it? Did digging something out of the garbage work to his advantage? Did taking junk stuff that somebody else threw away, could he bring it back to life? Tune in next Thursday night, February 24th, to see part 2 of PawPaw's table saw from hell.